Oh, oh,
Resident Evil.
oh.
Resident Evil. Oh. Yo, what is this man doing? Resident Evil.
Oh. Well, Sony is officially talking about the PlayStation 6, and people are...
I mean, come on, man. We barely got any first-party games with this. Now Sony talking about the PlayStation 6? Before we even got any good games? Come on, man.
A lot of the internet is kind of annoyed because it does feel like this console generation has been so incredibly different.
Absolute
no matter what
trash.
system you own or whether you play on PC or
PlayStation 5 got no games.
Switch or whatever, it does feel like we have entered this very strange time of the console wars.
Oh, here we go.
Historically, even going all the way back, thinking about the Super Nintendo versus the Sega Genesis.
Bruh, that was about 30 years ago, man. Of course, things ain't gonna stay the same. And to be honest with you, nobody cares about the console wars. Because if you people did, you would be out here buying these platforms for the exclusives that these companies are making. You wouldn't be buying it for your competitors. Imagine if the console wars was like this back in the days. Super Nintendo, we're playing the same games that you made while giving Nintendo your money instead of Sega. Do you understand how stupid that is? The reason why it was a console war because people on the Sega Genesis was supporting Sega for their intellectual properties, and people was buying the Nintendo, Super Nintendo for their quality of exclusives. But unfortunately, that's not what's going on anymore, is it, Dreamcast guy?
Even the early times of like GameCube versus Xbox versus PlayStation 2, a big thing that sold stuff wasn't just the online play or how much you liked the controllers. It was the basic idea of exclusives.
Wrong. Because the PlayStation 1 had nothing but third-party games. Matter of fact, Final Fantasy, Chrono Cross. These were games that were made by companies like Square, Capcom. That's the reason as to why PlayStation 1 was popular. But have you noticed when those games started going elsewhere, PlayStation doesn't have the same amount of sales that they once had before? Because those games are not locked to the platform. Yeah, they were exclusive at the time, but it had more to do with the fact of what Nintendo and Sega was doing with their hardware. This had nothing to do with the greatness of PlayStation, because if you really think about it, name 10 PlayStation games that Sony created for the PlayStation 1. And I can guarantee you that you will struggle to even remotely make that list because most of it was Bushido Blade, Otobo, number 1, Guys, Iron Hand, Marvel vs. Capcom, third-party games that would normally be on any other platform, but for some reason was locked to the PS1. Okay? Sony never had power. Because if they did, you people would be, instead of playing Fighting Force and Nightmare Creatures or Tomb Raider, you'd be buying Parappa the Rapper. Or should I say Intelligent Cube, Ape Escape, which happens to be a great game. Not to knock it. But a lot of the games that PlayStation 1 and 2 had specifically was third party. That's why when Microsoft shifted it towards third party with the 360, PlayStation 3 was in trouble. Because they're like, oh snap. We don't need a PS3 to play Final Fantasy. We can play it on an Xbox.
But for the entirety of the PlayStation 5 generation, it feels like Sony's output has gotten so incredibly small. And a lot of people have started to say, I don't want the PlayStation 6. So I want to try to...
Game still with another dub. Didn't I tell you guys that if the time when Microsoft puts more games on the PlayStation, you're going to see less and less of the games that Sony actually is making? I mean, at this point, PlayStation ain't nothing but a placeholder. It's nothing but an Xbox Series P where you pay for the same games that you're getting free through one subscription service through Game Pass Ultimate. That's exactly what the PlayStation has become, and with timed exclusivity. Like, it's embarrassing, bro. Sony has no power like you people think. The vast majority of their games, nobody even cares about. I mean, look no further than Concord and soon to happen Marathon. Okay, nobody cares about PlayStation games, not even your own audience. And you people know it. That's why you keep bragging about whatever Xbox is going to throw to you. Because if PlayStation made games, you wouldn't worry about what their competitor is doing by putting games on your platform.
we have another big game coming. In fact, Sony has now promised they want to release a big AAA single-player game every single year from now on. Can they keep that promise? I don't know.
Are you serious? One AAA game a year? Are you kidding me? What kind of output is this? And you know why they're doing it to you guys? Because they're making that money off that subscription, off that Call of Duty, off that NBA 2K, off that soon-to-happen Grand Theft Auto 6. They no longer care about the diehard PlayStation fan that picked up their platform for the quote-unquote exclusive games that you people keep talking about. Are you serious? One AAA game a year? Are you serious? Oh yeah, Microsoft is most definitely going to destroy you if this is what Sony's doing. Microsoft has already dropped what? Doom Dark Ages? I think South of Midnight was an expensive AA. I mean, what's going on here? You're trying to tell me that Sony's only going to put one AAA game a year? Bruh, I'm not for this.
As more people buying more microtransactions, more games.
Yep. More microtransactions. There you go. Not games. No. And if you are talking about games, you're talking about third-party and Xbox games. That is where Sony's getting their money. This is why they have become complacent and not caring about the consumer of kills. Or where my Resistance? Where my Infamous? Where my Little Big Planet? Where my Jack and Daxter? Where my Sly Cooper? That's why they don't care about you. I mean, at this point, PlayStation ain't nothing but a third-party box at this point. It ain't no different than Xbox.
Sony is making more tens of billions of dollars than they ever have for pretty much zero work. So
exactly. But yet, for some reason, we give Sony credit for that. We give well, it doesn't matter, Dreamcast. Let's not forget, it's 75 million hardware sales. But yet, the gamers ain't the one benefiting. It's so funny that you guys call this a console war. But back in my day, since you like to throw out that term a lot, gamers, we was bragging about the games that we was playing. Oh, you got that? We got this. You got Final Fight? We got Streets of Rage. You got Mario? We got Sonic. We didn't talk about the finances. We didn't talk about how well the Genesis outsold the Super Nintendo. We was talking about games that we was getting as consumers. Am I right? Did we talk about, oh, well, Nintendo's fiscal year, they made this amount of money with the Super Nintendo? We didn't talk like that. Is this the console war playground talk that y'all talking about? Because that's not exactly what was going on. They were talking about, oh, we got Contra Alien Wars and y'all got Contra Hard Corps. That what was going on in the playgrounds of the quote-unquote console war. You know, the war that was actually worth fighting for. You know, no matter of fact, the war that the companies were fighting for the consumers. Now you got the consumers fighting for the companies, and yet y'all ain't even benefiting anything, which is even more embarrassing.
Let me take a look at the quote.
Shut up.
Making people so mad, and why I feel like a lot of people disagree. A lot of people get mad when I say this. I think PlayStation 6 is going to be the very, very last console.
Gamester with another double. Who told you that first? Who told you that the next consoles would be their last? And I've also told you that they'd be priced at $1,000 and up. This is the last great hustle from Sony. Do not get played again from the PlayStation, because I'm telling you, the next Xbox is going to be far better in comparison than what you're getting with PlayStation 6. When it comes to value, when it comes to the games, when it comes to the offerings, when it comes to freedom. PlayStation is going to throw out a restrictive platform, which I'm also hearing is going to use Windows. What is the point of this crap?
PlayStation anyways. Just that graphics are getting so photorealistic, resolution is getting so clean, load times are so tiny. It does feel like we're starting to bump against that wall of technological ability.
No, that's not true. Because you got PCs doing far better than what we got consoles. No, what's end up happening is that consoles are finally outgrowing the cheap, affordable $300, $200 Lunchable boxes that y'all been buying. That's the problem. So essentially what's really going on here is that gaming is shifting more towards PC. How can you sit there and say, oh, it's the technological advancements? No, because PC gamers are still pushing higher tech than you. How you gonna sit there and act like, oh, it's the end? We finally got. We ain't even running games at 4K on lag. Bro, you know what, man? Moment of silence. We ain't even running 4K, 60 frames per second on games, and you got Pony saying it's the end. We ain't even running 4K 120. We ain't even got the 8K, and y'all claiming that the technological leaps of a console is beyond the boundaries, bro, when people are doing these things on PC. So it's not that. It has more to do with the fact of how much you console peasants are willing to pay for these, for these consoles, because they're not making the money off software. They're making it off subscription services.
Systems come out to this. I don't think they're going to be numbered PlayStations, but the full quotes of what they're talking about here sounds a bit strange. And it sounds like, in a lot of ways, I think they're basically saying, we have killed Xbox, so we're no longer even interested in competing in hardware against Xbox.
Here we go. So just say PlayStation is dead too. No, you didn't. How could you kill something? How could you say Microsoft is dead when they're still continuing to bring out games more than what Sony's doing? Sony can only focus on bringing in one AAA a year, bro. A year.
They basically say that we don't care about streaming. It basically sounds like they're saying they don't really care about how much Xbox Cloud is really burning up the charts. But here's the thing that really got me the most. PlayStation will continue its current strategy of releasing tentpole single-player narrative games on PlayStation.
Oh, keyword. No. I don't want this. When they said narrative-driven, we already know The Last of Us, the daddy simulators. You can have them. But in regards to the actual games like Lost Soul Aside and Helldivers 2 and all those other games, that the games that are actually kind of putting Sony back on the map, low-key, those games are going to everybody else. I'm not buying a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 6 to play some graphical movies. This what it means. Single player narrative. Bro, I'm good. Nah, you can keep that PlayStation 6. I don't want no narrative driven games. I'm tired of it. Oh, Ellie, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of baby steps. I'm tired of playing a game where it's more cinematics and cutscenes than there's gameplay. This isn't bad. The days of infamous Killzone, real resistance, actual games coming out from Sony is over. It's done. I can no longer support this company.
First, and then expanded to PC later, basically saying they're going to keep doing what they're currently doing, which is putting games on PC, but down the line.
Yeah, for the narrative-driven games, because Sony still got games dropping on PC day and date. So that was a lie right there. But if you go based off the narrative-driven games, they're mostly talking about in games in regards to Marvel Spider-Man, maybe a Wolverine, Bruh, I'm sorry.
Here's the thing that got me the most excited, but is also the most difficult for me to believe. PlayStation is committed to releasing at least one
AAA game.
Quality tentpole single-player game every single year.
One AAA.
They have not been sticking to this at all. If they're going to stick to this now, this has to have been in the works for years and years and years.
If Sony don't know what they're doing, bro. If you buy a PlayStation 6, you got to be the biggest dummy in the gaming community. You got Sony themselves telling you we're trying to focus on at least one, keyword, one AAA game a year. While Microsoft's out here dropping games after games after games. And you're going, bro, and you PlayStation fans are going to accept this? You're going to accept, let me guess, it's Xbox fault. Let me guess, it's Xbox fault, right? You're going to accept the fact that Sony's going to bring out one exclusive game a year to y'all? One AAA game? I'm not for this, bro.
The problem right now with this super long dev time of everything is the fact that you can't just snap your fingers and it goes. You can't just start making games.
Yeah, that's another problem too, because these are things that have to, take years to develop. And as time goes on, man, with all you 50, 60-year-old men talk about, I'll just wait for the Airbag games. Well, guess what? You're getting 60. Every time you're 61, 62, at one point you're going to be 70 years old. And y'all still doing this crap? Y'all are old already. You might as well play your games now. Why are you waiting? You're old. Okay? Time of the essence, man. Play your games when you can. All this, we waited 20 years for Gears when you could have played it 20 years before this is stupid. You people acting like you live forever. I have all the time in the world to wait. And the next minute you find out what happened? He was something, he waited so long to play Halo Master Chief Collection. He's no longer here no more. What? Oh man, he should have just bought an Xbox. I know, but he was a PlayStation fanboy. He was too prideful. He just was waiting on games, and and look what happened. Oh well, that's unfortunate.
Because it takes 4, 5, 6 years to put a game out now. If you want to start,
so that's 5, and also 4, 5, 6 years of your life. So if you're 40, you will be 46, bruh.
Putting out a game every single year, they already have to have been in dev when the PlayStation 5 on store shelves. PlayStation continues to be a platform, but believe platform competition is good and important and is focused on growing a broad portfolio of games. Oh, man. Here's the thing that a lot of people have...
It says right here, PlayStation Focus, the console and beyond. Look at that. Oh, you don't want to read that part. With the beyond being bringing games to PC at a later day, peripherals like Portal, and expanding IP into movies, TV. Yeah, see, Sony's trying to be bigger than gaming. No different than what Microsoft's doing. We told y'all this.
Making fun of. We're continuing to invest in live service games with Helldivers 2, an example of our success when we get things right. We have learned many challenges, including Concord. Right. We have reconstructed the development and review process of our games. We will not make the same mistake twice.
Yeah, that's an absolute lie, because then Marathon wouldn't exist.
They released a very funny chart of how much they think their live service games build a foundation and strengthen capabilities. They're still claiming that Marathon is coming out this year, fiscal year 2025. To me, it's funny that they're like, here's our successful live service games, and here's our stuff that we hope doesn't get insta-canceled. Sony continues to expand. Sony said it's because there's exclusives. There's constant.
Wrong. Because if it was about exclusives, where was y'all with the N64? If it's about exclusives, then why weren't y'all there for the GameCube? Stop, Gamester, stop. If it was about exclusives, where were y'all during the Wii U? The same games that you love on the Switch, where the Splatoon started on the Wii U. Mario Kart 8 started on the Wii U. Breath of Wild started on the Wii U. Now. It started on the Wii U, and the Wii U failed. So when y'all sit there and talk about, it's about exclusive, then why did the Wii U fail? Matter of fact, some of the most popular games on the damn Switch is from Wii U games. Y'all like, damn, game, so that's a good point. I didn't realize that. Exactly. But that didn't force nobody to get a Wii U. It has more to do with the fact that Nintendo is portable. Nintendo also came out with a portable device when there wasn't really that many competitors. That's why with the Switch 2, people are saying, I don't know, it's going to be a little different because now you got stuff like the Steam Deck, ROG Ally, Xbox. You got so many different devices now. And then also Nintendo's competing with oneself with their old Switch. So people are going to have to try to find value in it. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is what y'all don't get. Okay? Switch is really in competition with itself.
Constant exclusives. And I have to admit that I can't exactly blame them that you don't have to like all the Nintendo output. I definitely criticize
it. Has more to do with the fact that it was portable. If Nintendo made a home console with the same games on it that you see on the Switch, so essentially what you're saying is that if those games went to the Wii U would have been a success. Oh, yeah, it would have. Okay, so explain why Mario Kart 8, which sold 80 million on Switch, did not do well on the Wii U. Explain Smash Bros. What are y'all talking about? I mean, I know the Smash Bros. On Switch is better, but it's very similar. That did not push the Wii U. Y'all know it, bro. Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. Or should I say stop the cat before he decides to drop his dock again. Stop the cat. Stop the cat right now.
Hell out of Nintendo.
Stop the cat!
A lot of times their controllers sometimes don't feel the best.
You guys know what I'm saying to shoot. All these franchises that y'all talk about, Breath of Wild, I even think Mario Odyssey all had development with Wii U in mind. And they did not push the Wii U in any significant way because it was a home console. I'm telling you, the only reason why Nintendo is successful is because of portable. Exclusive is just... So it goes like this. Right? This is how I look at it. Yes, exclusives is important for Nintendo, but at first it's portable. Then it's exclusives. It can't go exclusives then portable because if it was exclusive then portable, then the exclusives would have sold on any platform. Do you feel what? It would have sold on the Wii U. It would have sold on the GameCube. It would have sold on the freaking N64. I'm not saying those games didn't sell well, guys. I'm just saying in regards to the grand scheme of the Switch, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to compare and contrast so people understand where I'm coming from. Clearly, that's not the truth. Nintendo has always been successful in portables, so it only made sense. Y'all know it. And then on top of that, the Switch was very cheap, affordable, came out of market when there was not really any portable devices out there. It was a guaranteed success.
Like now, especially the prices are too damn high, but it does feel like the reason the original Nintendo Switch sold 150 million consoles is because you get Xenoblade, you get Wii.
Xenoblade, bro, listen, I'm gonna have to break this down again for you, okay? Mario Kart 8 started on the Wii U. Xenoblade, they had that version on the Wii U. They had Smash Bros on the Wii U. Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. Breath of Wild on the Wii U. And it did not sell worth a damn on the Wii U console. Y'all know this. Stop the cap. The Splatoon started on the Wii U. Did not sell on the Wii U like that. It sold pretty well for the sales. I'm not saying it didn't sell well. It did sell pretty well, even on the dying Wii U. But I'm saying it didn't push people to want to buy the Wii U for seeing how good quality Nintendo's games were. That is my argument to you. What you clearly don't understand.
Huge stuff. You get exclusives for at least a time, like Octopath Traveler. You get so many games that are not just good, but unique. There's big budget.
No, it's portable.
AAA, there's AA, and they're always coming out.
Nintendo don't make AAAs.
When it comes to...
I'm tired of listening to this. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. I know real gamers will understand where I'm coming from, but this whole exclusivity is the reason why Nintendo Switch is successful is absolutely nonsense. Nintendo is successful because it's portability first and then exclusive game offerings. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And like I said, man, it is what it is, man. But I'm going to say one thing after this video. Stop the cat. Stop the cat right now.